Good morning, everybody. It's the boss lady here. As you can tell, I'm walking, so I must be doing somewhat okay. It's the day after day 4, so it's Sunday, day before I have to go back to work, and getting ready to head to the laundromat. So let me open up the trunk here. I got a blanket that needs to be washed. Put these bags in. As you can see, ooh, hope I don't knock my cup out. Hold on, y'all. Alrighty. And I gotta grab, got 2 bags today. I gotta grab something out the back seat. I was gonna go and get the car detailed, but it's raining, so I have to wait. Whew. So I got these 2 blankets right here that have to be washed, but first a girl going to get coffee. So let me pause you, let me get inside. Hey everybody, it's the boss lady here. I remembered my headphones today, so I got my headphones because a girl gonna have to be able to tune out. I got more to wash today than times past, so yeah, it's a bit much. Give me 1 second, get everything excuse me, together here. I'm going to get coffee first, so that gives me time to talk to y'all, because once I get to the laundromat, a girl will be tuned out. So, boss, and I still got my band on, so I wasn't lying. Yes, I went to the hospital. Just took my tape off. Oh my gosh. So I have to get some baby oil or something and get all this sticky residue off me. Whew, hair still in a nappy puff. Hair got wet yesterday, like severely wet. So this will just be a whole recap of the vacation plus what happened while I went to the hospital. So I'm gonna start with the hospital first because I know that's where I ended. And then we'll go back to vacation. So, and I might have to do this in 2 different takes because yeah. Anyway, so where I left off on day 4, I went to the hospital. Friday when we got back to town, I was feeling, well, first of all, I was dog tired. Now, even though I went to bed at a decent time and all that stuff after editing, I was dog tired, so I went to sleep. I felt refreshed when I woke up, but it was a little warm Friday morning. You know, we went to do our last excursion, which was Ripleys. That didn't go over too well with little man. I'll get more into that in a minute. But didn't go over too well, so I said, well, you know what? Okay, let's just walk this trip a little bit. It was still early. Now, we checked out an hour early. We checked out by 9 o'clock. Well, it wasn't even by 9. It was actually before 9. So, because Ripley's didn't open until 9. So, yeah, we checked out roughly maybe 8:30-ish. But the kids were up. Everybody was dressed. Everything was packed. We had cleaned. And so, we just got into the vehicle and let's go. I'm like, what is that jingling? Maybe it's my lock. I'll put it up on the seat for a minute. Let me see if that changes anything. So anyway, we you know I'm listening for a jingle. Okay, it was the lock. So anyway, so we went to Ripley's, did that. It was very short. It was a short it wasn't like the one that we went to in Dallas. So I was disappointed in that regard, but Miss Peanut still enjoyed it, so I was like, okay. So we went on to the pop store that she wanted to go to. It was closed, so we went to the candy store. Then at that point, the kids were so we left. We got on the road. So we were on the road. I forgot what time we got on the road, but I mean, shoot, we got on the road by 10 o'clock, I think, heading back to Minnesota. So, which was fine, cool, and dandy. am I going with this? Oh, so normally I would stop at least for 15-20 minutes, stretch my legs, whatever. I didn't stop. I just drove straight through. Well, if you are a long-time subscriber, you know I suffer from what's called a DVT, deep vein thrombosis. So I had a real bad one back in 2015, had to go on blood thinners for 3 months, blah, blah, blah. So when we got back to Minnesota and got to my parents', I went to get out the car, instant pain. I said, what? See, it's raining. Ain't no sense in me doing my hair. It's raining. So I was in instant pain. Like, I couldn't walk. I was limping. I'm like, oh my God, you know. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the next trip because, you know, depending on what is going on with this leg. So it was like the pain was worse. Like, every time I would get, if I was sitting down, like sitting, I don't really feel anything. Getting up, oh, I'm feeling a whole lot of stuff. So I'm like, what the heck? So I was at my mom and dad's for a minute, and then they didn't have their air on, and it was hot. And so I was like, you know, let me just go on home. It's time for the kids to separate. Let's just, you know. And so I went home, and I was telling my husband about it, and I said, you know, if I'm not feeling better later, I might go in. And he was just like, you sure you're all right? Did you fall? Did you twist your knee? This, that, whatever. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. Mind you, this is not the same leg of the first DVT. It's the pain I'm feeling is on my left side, not my right side. But I remember the symptoms, you know, warm to touch, discoloration, pain, feeling like it's a Charlie horse that won't go away, swelling. I had swelling. I had the temperature. And I had the pain. I can't really tell about the whole discoloration situation because I'm melanated. So I was like, whatever. So I took some Tylenol arthritis, and that actually helped. Which, yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Your girl body is aging faster than her mind. And I have arthritis in places that I didn't think I did. I have arthritis in my hand, arthritis in my knees, my legs or whatever, my back. Yeah. So anyway, stay with me. So we ended up going to the amusement park. We was out there from 9:45 in the morning until 3:30. Now, this amusement park is huge. We walking this and that, and I wasn't having problems walking, but every time I would sit and get up, the initial get up was difficult for me. But I had on tennis shoes and socks, so I wasn't out there in like sandals, whatever, you know. So after we came back, you know, and I'm calling my mom and dad like, where y'all at? Time to get little man, because I need a break. You know, my time is done. You know, thank God I didn't plan for fishing today because it is raining. So, anyway, but my time is done. So, they finally come. They pick him up. And as I'm sitting outside with Boss Man, I was starting to hurt sitting down. And I said, you know, I'm just not... I need to know peace of mind. I said, I don't want to go to sleep and not wake up. And he was like, why are you talking like that? I'm like, because I'm telling you there's something not right. You know, so it's best that I just get it checked out. So, little man was with my parents. Miss Pina was exhausted from the day. So I left her with Boss Man. And I drove myself to the hospital. So that's where you saw that clip. I get to the hospital. Y'all was there for... oh my God, about 4 hours. Yeah, I got there roughly like 10 to 5. And I didn't leave till 9:05. I mean, I was there a while. And I'm still tired, really. I mean, it's 8:14 right now, and I'm still tired. I should still be in the bed. But I want to get this washing done because since it's raining, I want to wash now and relax the rest of the day. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. No. Plus, it hurts to walk. So... anyway, you know, and normally if you come in saying blood clot, you get in right away. Well, they had trauma after trauma after trauma, and this is not a trauma hospital. So I really was like, what's going on? But Yeah. Anyway, and it is more the elite hospital, so, you know, money talks, I guess. Anyway, so I waited and waited. You know, they did blood work. They took like 6 vials of blood. They did blood work, did my blood pressure. Y'all, my blood pressure was through the roof. Through the roof. Let me say that one more time. My blood pressure was through the roof. It was 176/94. By the time I left, it dropped to 157, but over 97. So I have to go back to the doctor in reference to my blood pressure. Yeah. One reason why my pressure was up, because the trip did me in. I signed up for more than I could chew. 2, I was exhausted from the day and from the trip. 3, I was having anxiety because I was thinking it was going to be a blood clot. Because if it was going to be a blood clot, they were going to admit me. Like, you better be here. I didn't have my charger with me. So when I got there, my phone was at like 55%. By the time I left, my phone was down to 26%. Seriously. Like, I had to literally put my phone on airplane mode just to reserve the little bit of juice I had. You know, trying to let my family know what's going on, whatever, if they need to come. Well, my eldest daughter, she couldn't come. But, you know, I was just like, oh my God. So, they finally get me back for the ultrasound that I had requested. I had to do an EKG because of my blood pressure. Because I said I'm starting to have chest pain, you know. And they said, you want us to do EKG? Yes, do EKG. Make sure I ain't have no heart attack or what. Because, I mean, I was like, when I tell you, and I keep trying to tell y'all this so y'all can really understand. I have such a fear of pain that pain cripples me. Now, pain doesn't always necessarily have to be bad, but it still cripples me. My mind cannot let go of you're in pain. So when I'm in pain, everything goes haywire. My blood pressure, my head starts hurting, my chest starts hurting. I mean, my anxiety gets so bad because of pain. You know, it's just crazy. So anyway, they finally do the ultrasound, and I mean, that lady, and I know she had to do it, but she was pushing hard and trying to get to the veins, and I'm like, Lord Jesus. And at first I was doing fine, and then it's like once she got a little lower, I was like, oh. And you know, those type of ultrasounds, they got to go from your groin area all the way down to your ankle bone. Yes. So they did that. After the ultrasound, I probably waited maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and then they called me in. And, excuse me. And at that point, the doctor said, well, I have good news. I was like, okay, praise God. Because, you know, I was a little concerned. A whole lot. But yeah, I was concerned. And so he said, you don't have a blood clot. I said, okay. But he was still sitting there. You know, normally they say, you don't have a blood clot. Hey, your paper's ready for you, sitting out the door. No. He says, I have something called a Baker's cyst. I'm like, a Baker's cyst? What is that? Like, seriously, what is that? He said it's not life-threatening. It's not cancerous. It's not something to be super alarmed about. But if it continues to be problemsome, then I would have to go to an orthopedic doctor. And the orthopedic doctor would potentially drain it and then shoot it up with steroids. So let me tell you what Boss Lady heard. Needle. That's all I heard. I told you exactly what he said, but I'm telling you what I heard. I was like, what the? And it's significant in size. If it gets bigger, I definitely have to have it drained and whatever. I was like, Lord, have mercy. But yeah. So I have a cyst behind my knee that's causing all this pain. And these type of cysts they come about because of arthritis. Yeah, girl, So let me put a pin in you here, and I'll give you the cliff notes of my reaction, my thoughts, and everything of the trip. So stay tuned. Okay, I'm back. I had to get my coffee, y'all, because you know your girl. Whew. And then while I'm in there getting my coffee, why? I guess, I don't know if this was a deacon and his wife, or it was a minister and his wife. But this lady comes around, and she was like stank. You know, I'm just going to say, some of these church women, they need to get their whole act together, because, honey. Anyway, she was rude, and then he speaks and he says good morning. I'm like, oh, well, good morning. You know what I mean? Child, I'm like, all I'm trying to do is get my little coffee. He in there cleaning up the counter and all that. Look, I ain't make that mess up. Look, now I'm trying to get my stuff. Let me take a good swig of this coffee. Hold on. It's so hot. Let me save it for the laundromat. Woo. But anyway, so let's get into the trip. Hooey. So y'all know I haven't seen my grandson in a few years. And I was super excited because that's, my thing now for me, I want to travel. Like, I want to travel. I want to have fun. I want to have experiences, things like that. Now, when I was a younger mom, a teen mom with my first daughter, I wasn't able to do a lot of that stuff. My parents took my daughter on a lot of trips. I took her on very few because why? I didn't have the funds. Once I had Miss Peanut, of course, I was an adult mom. Adult mom with some, adult bills, okay? And a real job, things like that, that pays some bills. So financially, I was able to do a lot more. Now, that's not to say baby girl missed out, because baby girl still got to do things, just they weren't necessarily with me. They were more so with my parents or my sister or her godparents. She still had experiences. It's just they weren't necessarily with me. Okay, long story short. So, moving on to the trip. So, I wanted to plan, like, some excursions. And, when Miss Peanut and I travel, y'all already know, we gets down. We find anything and everything. People be like, that's here, that's there. I never seen this before. You know what I mean? Especially like when we went to Texas. I had people who live in Texas that didn't know about the stuff that was in Texas. Where you do that at? How you not know what's going on in your own state? That's why I love my state. I always try to find something different and fun and whatever. Anyway, so with me knowing that little man was coming, I was like, okay, I want to give him some of the experiences that Miss Peanut has had, and then create memories with him, with Miss Peanut, and do a couple things differently, because even though we've been to Wisconsin Dells, this is what, our third or fourth time going, I still try to do something different, at least one thing different, so that Miss Peanut doesn't be like, oh, it's the humdrum, we do the same thing, you know what I mean, because you know how teenagers are. So this trip, I really had the thought process on it, right? I mean, I know people get like Airbnbs and all that stuff, and to me personally, I haven't done that yet, but I was like, I want to get something close to it, whatever, because like the last time that we were in Wisconsin Dells, we were talking about, oh, let's rent a house or whatever. Well, we had a townhome. And I was excited. Like, I watched the YouTube on it and everything. Like, man, this is nice. And then when we got there, it was nice. Now, there were some spiders. But, I'm quick with and you know what I mean? Give me a shoe or pop, you dead. So, I think next time I might just bring me some like bug spray, just to spray for the spiders. You know what I mean? Just because that'll give me peace of mind. But anyway, but so, you know, I didn't want to do the whole like hotel thing where we all in one room. I wanted to give them a true, authentic experience. So I researched, I got a townhome, and, you know, yes, they shared a room, but they shared a room, but they had their own beds. Now, for Miss Peanut, that was the first time of her ever sharing a room outside of going to camp. So that was different for her. Little man, he had shared a room before, like with his stepsister or whatever. So, you know, but she's younger. So, but you know, I had 2 bathrooms, so I made sure, okay, one used this bathroom, the other one used that bathroom. That way, everybody had privacy. You know what I mean? You get dressed down here, you get dressed up there. Everybody had privacy. You know, and then like me, you know, I had 2 doors in my room, so I'm like, bloop, bloop, let me close my doors. If my doors is closed, that's my privacy. So, you know, both of them, honestly, are used to, if you go on vacation, someone else does the cleaning. I'm sorry, this is like home, so everybody get a duty. You get this duty, you get that duty. You can pick or choose. I'm giving you some choices. So that was a little tug of war a little bit, you know. But I'm like, hey, this is where we're going to be. I want to be comfortable. I know you want to be comfortable. I want it clean, so let's get with it. You know, and you know me, I brought all my cleaning supplies. I had my wipes, I had my bleach, I had my spray. You know what I mean? So let's do this. So that was a little, but then it was just kind of, you know, they had similar interests, especially as far as like video games. So I mean, that's fine, you know, with the phones and stuff like that. But when it came time to doing some of the excursions, it didn't go as I thought it should, you know. And so that kind of, I don't know, I guess it kind of made me feel bad. Like, I done spent how much money, and, you know, like I said, overall, they both were pleased, you know, but it was just certain things like, well, why can't I do this? Well, I want to do this. Well, I don't want to do that. And then it was like the bickering, you know, and I'm not used to that because me personally, I only have one child at one time. I've only had my kids in the same household for 2 years. And that was from birth to 2, almost 3, with Miss Peanut. So from her birth till she was almost 3, those 2 were in the same household. So there was no bickering between the 2 of them because she couldn't talk. I don't know how people do it with multiple kids, because me personally, I'm just going to be honest with y'all, I'm from the old school. I'm from the spare the rod, spoil the child school. Okay? I'm from the man that don't work, don't eat school. So, I'm like, what the? I mean, like, are you kidding me? So, I was highly, highly, highly irritated as some twists and turns. You know, the not listening piece, I'm not used to that. Because if I tell Miss Peanut something, she does it. You know, my grandson, he wanted to do his own thing. And I'm like, you have to listen to me. I'm the adult, you know. So, I don't know. And maybe it's because, like I said, we've been apart for so long. You know, had he been here and, you know, continuously, he would know, Granny don't play that. Granny will trip, snap, crackle, and pop. So let me just be on the up and up. You know what I mean? So that type of deal. And, you know, and here's my thing. You know, I try not to be that disciplinarian grandparent, right? But sometimes you have to put discipline out there. but I'm trying to have fun. So, my thing is, I'm trying to show you experiences. I want to have fun. And I just felt like it just wasn't being reciprocated. And so it was frustrating. And then Miss Peanut's getting frustrated. And I'm like, why are you getting frustrated? Because you're still a kid, your own self, but she knew how much I had put into this. And so she was trying to make the best of the situation. And so, yeah. Now, as far as the kids wearing, because I know I had got a question about why are you dressing them alike? Because a lot of people, when we were on the trip, was saying, are they brother and sister? Or, oh, that's your big sister, or, oh, your mom. And then little man, he would be rude about, that's not my mom. So then people looking like, well, who are you to him? I said, I'm his grandmother, I'm his granny. And they're like, you're his grandmother? What? I'm like, you don't look old enough to be my grandmother. There's all that stuff. And I'm just like, shut it. So that type of stuff was kind of ticking me off too, because people would assume, if you don't walk in with a billboard saying, yes, I have my grandson and my daughter with me, and no, this is not her son, this is her sister's son, then people don't know. They automatically assume that, oh, you're brother and sister, and oh, that's your mom, and you know what I mean? So, like, this lady literally, stopped. She wouldn't let us pass because she looking at me strange, like, for real, that's your grandson? For real, that's not her brother? They look alike. I don't care how much they look alike. Blood is thicker than water. So, yeah, they're going to look alike. The heck? So, yeah, I was irritated with those questions. That just ticks me off. Because people are rude and they're nosy. So, yeah, so dealt with that. And I ain't never tried to be nobody else's mama but my own too. Yeah, it's just, like I said, I was just irritated. Like, when it was bedtime, I'm like, go to bed. Like, seriously, go to bed, let's start over. Like that's the only time that it was nice. Like, that first night, I literally put on my fireplace, and then I didn't realize that the fireplace, especially in my bedroom, kicked out heat. So then I'm like, dang, I'm hot. It's the fireplace. So I had to turn it off. But yeah, I had good intentions. Honestly, I had good intentions. I definitely wanted to give them experiences that, neither one of them had. Some Miss Peanut had, but I really wanted to just do something. I wanted to make memories. We don't know what tomorrow holds. Look, I done went to the hospital. We don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know, from this day to that day, if we going to be here today, gone tomorrow, or here today, gone today. So I wanted to really build memories, and, but I felt myself constantly fussing, and I don't do that with vacation. And the other thing about vacation for me, but, a lot of people say, oh, you go on vacation to relax and this, and this. I'll do that, Lord willing, when my child is grown and on her own. But until then, my excursions, especially if it's with kids, is to enjoy and have fun and make, do experiences and stuff. So that was the other thing. It was like, no, we're not here just to sit and fiddle-faddle on the phone or iPad. No, we're about to do something. Get your shoes on. Get your stuff. Let's go, And so that's the other thing. That's how I'm conditioned. Now, granted, my parents didn't travel like that. This is how I travel. This is how I like to travel. I like to go. I don't like that sitting in. I can sit at home. If I'm somewhere, it's new, or, I got some excursions planned, I'm ready to do that. I'm not ready to sit and just be, oh, let me just chill. No. So that was the other thing, too. It was like, it was too much trying to sit and chill. We're not here to sit and chill. You can chill at the crib. Let's go. So that's just kind of how I am and how I like to vacation. So I just know going forward, and I told Miss Peanut, going forward, we will just vacation solo, because she know how I like to roll. And Miss Peanut be ready, like, okay, Mom, let's this, let's that, She had got to a point by Friday morning where she was just like, I just need a minute. And she came and got in the bed with me. And then I was like, okay, I can't do this. This is not going to work. The kids are literally like oil and water. I kid you not. And they're 5 years apart. Granted, they have similar interests, but there is a 5-year gap. And I have to recognize that. So, Miss Pena's like, and she's used to being solo. He's definitely used to being solo. So, but he's used to being solo and treated as if he's 16 when he's only 11. She's used to being solo. She's like, I'm 16. I know I came of age where I could do whatever, blah, blah, blah. So fast forward to the last day, which was the Valley Fair trip. That did it for me. I was done. Luckily, my aunt was there. She was a buffer. My aunt was there. Her grandkids were there. So they were kind of a buffer between the two of them. So that way, but then it was still a thing of, well, why does Miss Pena get to go over here? And I want to go over here. And it just took off. I'm like, no, sir, we don't do that. So, that type of stuff. And I just know for me, when I was a little girl, I wanted a house full of kids. I don't know what the HE double hockey stick I was thinking. Because, baby, I was with 2 kids for a total of 4 days. And that was enough for me. If I would have had that way back then, babe, that would have been birth control. Baby girl would have been the only child. Period. I'm so serious. And I would be child free at this point. Seriously. So, I'm not the kumbaya grandma. I'm not like them hood grandmas that just be, smoking and drinking and whatever with their grandkids. I'm not that one. But and then plus too, I have disabilities now where I can't do certain things. So I just know that, it was a time. It happened. We got the pictures. I got the proof. I got the video. I can relish on that. But going forward, I have to just be done. Be even killed. So, yeah. So I guess, if folks want to say, oh, you a deadbeat grandma, like a deadbeat daddy, I guess so. Call it what it is. But I don't have the capacity. I've never had a son. So I don't, boys are different than girls. And I just don't have the capacity to deal. I just don't. And I'm being honest. I mean, if my husband would have been there, it probably would have been totally different. But I'm not used to the disrespect. I'm not used to the talk back. Because if I say something, I mean it. Cut it off. Shut it up. Move around. That back and forth. I don't do that with kids. I just don't. So, but, it was an experience that I definitely had. And I thank God I was able to be a blessing and do that. But back to the shirts. I don't know why. So back to the shirts. The reason why, and I think I said this before, but the reason why they had matching shirts, it wasn't to make them look like brother and sister. It was to make them, make it easier for me. So that way, when someone saw me walking up with them two, they could automatically identify those two belong to her. Right? And if one was not with me or if they were separated from each other, they knew that if anything, they need to be back together to be together and then find me, So it was just like a safety measure. And it was cool. I mean, they didn't complain about having matching shirts. I mean, they both liked the shirts, actually. Well, the tie-dyes, they actually made themselves. They made them at Miss Pena's school. And then they both love Spider-Man. Jurassic Park, they could take or leave. I mean, but Miss Pena used to be a big dinosaur fan. So, I was like, why not? Plus, that was the only other shirt I could find that matched at the time when I was getting the t-shirt. So, that'd be that. But yeah, it wasn't to make them look like brother and sister at all. It was more a safety measure for me. And actually, I saw a lot of people, and I should have took pictures, but I saw a lot of people with the matching shirts, whether it was birthday parties or whatever, or they were celebrating something, they had matching shirts, family reunions, all of that. So it just made it easier to kind of know, like, who's in your party. So, yeah, that'd be that. But I'm going to go, guys. Thanks for watching this long video. And now you got the recap of what happened with me as far as going to the hospital, how I felt about the trip. And then the $1 million question, will I plan a trip like this for next summer? Because that's what little man wants. Probably not. Honestly, probably not. There will be no... I will go on vacation, yes, but as far as taking the kids by myself, no ma'am, no Pam, no Sam. With that being said, let me roll out, guys. Y'all have a great day. Bye.